It's interesting how many of us have the same types of experiences. And our last speaker talking about her divorce, and I'm divorced as well. I've been divorced for 6 years, and don't feel sorry for me. I love my ex-husband. I just didn't like any of his girlfriends. I'm not a team player. I tried. So I don't share well. Anyway, does anybody need a picture of me in the book here? Thank you. Okay. All right. Here, I'll give that to Linda because she'll take care of me. And then I'll get back over here so that you don't have to worry about following me. I apologize. All right, so enough for the commercial. We live in an innovative world. I want you to think about the electronic devices that you have in your handbag or in your satchel or your briefcase, and think about a world without them. That wasn't that long ago. And what I'll tell you is that today, we only know 3% of what we'll know 20 years from now. So the world is changing very, very rapidly. I'm actually working now on one of the largest single change initiatives in a company that if I mentioned it, you'd go, of course, I know them. But to protect their privacy in case I decide to tell things about them later, which could happen. It's a huge technology change initiative. And my job is to get people to accept it and to use the technology and to enjoy using the technology and to move forward. This company I'm working with has 5 generations of people in one company. So you've got the young kids who are using it and they want it and they want more and they want more and they want more, and then you've got the people who've been working for this company for 40 years and they don't want the change. So the challenge is to communicate with all of them of what that change is. But they've got to change if they're going to be innovative. To be innovative is key today. There's one really important part of innovation, however, and that is collaboration. No one's innovative on their own. Steve Jobs wasn't innovative on his own, and any others that I could mention. You've got to have collaboration. You've got to be able to share ideas. What is collaboration? What does that mean? That means taking people from disparate backgrounds, disparate knowledge levels, and getting them to come together and create something new and exciting that'll change the world, at least make a dent in the universe. That requires coming together and understanding each other. I'll challenge you with this. If you are a person who always notices where everyone else is different from you, if you're always noticing that they're not like you, then I'm telling you, you're building dinosaur bones. Because you've got to be able to drop down the barriers. And we've got to be able to build alliances on a lot of different fronts in order to be able to collaborate. Now, I'm a half-breed. I'm sure you can tell that. I'm half geek and half normal. My father was a nuclear rocket scientist, and there was only ever one nuclear-powered rocket, so I guess that makes me a little unusual. So he was very much a geek. You didn't dare ask him to explain to you why some certain form of energy was not a good idea, because he would give you an answer with calculations, and that could get really scary. But he was a fascinating guy. He was a very charming guy, and he and I had a wonderful relationship because I could understand him. And then on the other side, I was normal. My mother was a school teacher. How normal can you be, right? Elementary school teacher. And this is the one thing I'll tell you she taught me about being a school teacher. And that is, she would go in elementary school, right? She'd go in the first week, and she'd be mean as could be. She'd be mean and rotten, and if they got out of line, she'd let them have it. I see some head shaking, you had her, right? She'd be mean and rotten, and then, as soon as the kids got to where they behaved the way she wanted them to, she would be the nicest could be. She was the nicest teacher they ever had. I said, well, why would you do that? She said, they never wanted to go back to her. They learned that she could be the meanest teacher they ever had, or the nicest teacher that they ever had, and it was really up to them. So I had this normal mother and this very geeky dad. I mean, geek. He would wear the brown socks and the penny loafers to the beach with the cutoff shorts and truly the pocket protector, I swear, because that had his notes. And he had a slide rule, he pinned the notes in. You knew him, right? Yeah, you do the same thing. Oh my gosh. This is great. Yeah, Dr. Waxman, thank you very much for being our geek here. So this is what I developed, was the ability to go to these very scientific, very deep types of symposiums and lectures and workshops and understand what those people were saying, and then be able to come back and translate it for normal people. And so my interest was not in nuclear energy or nuclear rocket science. My interest was in people, which I think is probably far more complex, and yet in some ways elegantly simple. So what I would do is go to symposiums and workshops. I would spend weekends at the Holiday Inn Express, for goodness sakes, underneath Stemmons Freeway, to understand people. What do they do? Why do they do what they do? And how do you get them to change what they do? How do you get them to change their minds? So basically that's what I do, is I change people's minds.